Awesome, awesome, cool. I'm actually gonna get a different sweater. This is too dang wrinkly. 1 second.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that more.
Yeah, I was
Like
gonna
we
say,
really care, honestly.
throw, throw it away, Mark. Throw it away.
Yeah.
Well, I got a great travel agent, someone I've known for 27 years, so thought I'd
Oh,
fill you in
cool.
on that so we can get all kinds of good discounts on cruises, travel trips, whatever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh, do that. All right. How's it going, everyone?
No.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna mess up your name and oh man, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And Antone?
Antoine.
Antoine.
Antoine Brown.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna be the first to mess it up, so I'm so sorry. All right. Scott, medical offices today.
Is that what that is today? Wait, would you like
Yeah.
that again?
Antoine, okay. How's it going? Oh my gosh, that's funny. All right, so everybody knows we'll talk we'll get some housekeeping out of the way and talk about the events this week and then get into our topic of the day. We are going to have Brian's not coming on today, is he? Is he coming on?
No, I think he had a thing with his dad. He might come on and listen in. He had some other things going, so
It's still in the emergency or
no, he had some other things going on that
oh,
he
gotcha.
said he was going to try to come. He's going to try to come, but if he can't, it is what it is.
Gotcha. Okay, well cool.
Try to
Well,
get him on the calendar for.
are we live? Yeah, we're live. Okay, yeah. So to everyone else out there, hello. And yeah, we're doing different real estate strategy every day. And then, of course, by popular demand, if anybody else obviously wants to vote a topic in, please do. But other than that, yeah, we'll get a little housekeeping. Oh, times. Oh, it's only 4:03. You can wait for a few more people to join on live and
Yeah.
then over here. But yeah, how's oh, Antoine, currently working just. Oh, okay, cool, 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 awesome, man, very cool. Well, whenever you get a chance to typing out, tell us what you do and everything in real estate right now, or if you're new and just well, you said you're looking to learn more and everything like that, so good, come to the right spot. But yeah, so in that case,
Yeah, just make sure everyone puts their contact
nice.
information in the chat and where you're calling in from, and that way we can follow up with you guys.
Yeah, most of our people are out on the live stream, so thank you guys. You know, Diana one and Ton for jumping on here. Diana, how are you doing?
Oh, hectic, good, but good. How about you?
Good. Oh, not too, very much the same. So yes, glad to hear. You coming on Thursday?
I'm going to try, but I've had Steven that had to go to the hospital because he slipped and fell and broke the nose and his whole face. He slipped right
Oh,
onto his face. And then my husband this weekend impinged a nerve in the back. So I'm taking care of a very big baby right now.
oh,
And yeah,
gotcha. Okay. Well, if
so
you can
it's
make it,
just a little
make
bit
it.
hectic.
Yes, no, I absolutely understand. So you get a pass if you don't come.
Thank you. But even if I do, it would be just for a short while, just to be there a little while. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
I
great.
have
Cool.
not finished, by the way, the arena, but I kind of know, I know where I'm at this point.
Okay.
Okay, so at some point, I'm sure I'll finish.
Yeah, yeah, no worries at all. Very
Okay.
cool. So in any case, but yeah, what's been new with you lately? Anything in the last uh month and everything since we talked last?
Just I had I had to go out of town. I had a specialist that I had to go see up in Port Orange. And by the way, just to let you know, based on some of the things you were talking about, some of the crummy contractors up there,
Yeah.
I found out from some of the people in that doctor's office, well, what's going on? You know, what kind of homes? what are they going for? And she goes, well, they're anywhere between 300 and 500, but what has happened is the contractors haven't built up high enough. So when it rains, it literally floods these $500,000 homes. And
Ooh.
so they're having a lot of losses up there. So,
Wow.
you know, contractors didn't figure that in. And
Mm.
I know that you have a pet peeve, from what I understood, Mark, about the good and the bad contractors. So,
Oh, not that I have a pet peeve, but I just hear from so many people. Well, because I've never done fix and flip or anything like that or anything. So I haven't had to use really any contractors before. I've had handymen for properties and everything, but I've heard from so many people that, yeah, contractors are fun to deal with sometimes. I've
yeah.
heard many a horror story. So, Scott, Eric, what are you? Well, you've heard some also scary
Had
things
some,
as well.
had my own stories. During COVID, it was pretty bad. I mean, we had a lot of people didn't show up. We had a lot of people that just disappeared. Um, it happens, but they weren't the only ones disappearing. It wasn't just contractors. It was,
Thanks, Juan.
brokers. It was everyone A to Z. There was a lot of different things going on there, but general contractors get a bad rap. So if you're a great general contractor, like we met at the meetup in West Palm
I
Beach,
was gonna, yeah. And I don't think
um,
Juan, you weren't there for. No, you weren't.
I was
No.
not. No,
Were
no,
you there on
no,
the last one? I forget.
no. I believe that I might have signed up, but it was like my first week of work, and I
I
wasn't.
swear I've met you before.
Possibly,
yeah,
possibly.
Yeah, I mean he hasn't been to our meetups yet, but he will absolutely be there, of course,
On
on
Thursday.
Thursday,
Mhm.
Nice.
and
Very
then
cool. It's awesome.
also the West Palm Beach meetup as well. Yeah, because he is our one of the conventions teammate. So
Oh, interesting. I don't know why I feel like I've met you before, but I guess not. But well, very cool. Awesome.
yeah.
Cool. Eric,
Um,
Excited to be
no,
here.
no, so I actually want to actually touch base on the contractor issue. I luckily haven't really been a part of that because I have worked in on that side. Was a restoration contractor and worked as one. So I'm lucky enough to have the right connections to really get work done. But I can tell you though, there in Port Charlotte, and on the West Coast during like the hurricanes that hit a couple of years ago, there was a lot of bad stuff happening there actually.
yeah,
So, and I did go out there and I was working out there as well. So I saw some like terrible things. And then of course we try to help as many people, but when something like that happens to an area or a lot of cities, people just start flooding into the areas, and they're good and bad. So it all really depends. Obviously, it's these, you got to kind of talk to who has had a contractor at their house recently or done some work. Obviously, referrals is really the best way to do it. But yeah, luckily, everything that I've done, all the renovations and everything I've done for properties, I've been good. I
good.
I I would say in Cape Coral, I did have a bit of an issue when I had a place there. Um, yeah, but besides the fact, that was more of the warranty company. Those warranty companies. Anyways, I don't want to get into that.
You don't want to get too negative there, but that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, cool. Awesome. Juan, you want to share a little bit about yourself really quick and everything like that?
Yeah, of
Then
course.
we
So,
can jump in.
no problem. Yeah, my name is Juan. I'm a relationship manager with Conventus Lending. So we are headquarters out of San Francisco, but we are a nationwide lender. Private lender, we focus on fix and flips, bridge loans, DSCR, multifamily, and ground up construction. I'm local to West Palm Beach. Uh, been here for 26 years as of yesterday. Born and raised in Colombia. Moved here when I was 12. Uh, did live in the San Francisco Bay Area for 10 years.
Where
Uh,
about?
in Walnut Creek.
Oh, nice. I'm from Sacramento, so
Oh, nice. Yeah,
yeah,
I have a couple of deals in Sacramento going on right now, so
nice.
know the
Very
area
cool.
very well. But
Nice.
yeah, here to help and support in any way I can.
Beautiful. Love it.
Nice.
So, Scott, do you want to kick us off on
Sure. I'll go ahead and
policies
kick
and
us off
benefit
here. I think we got
practices and everything?
we got everybody that's going to be here. Yeah, unfortunately, Brian is not here. He's not available again today, but that's okay. We will have him on another time to talk about his software with medical offices. But a couple of quick housekeeping things.
Yeah.
We are rolling out our Like-Minded Pro X. We are launching our app, and we are pushing very hard to build the best, build not the best, but build the most favorite partnership community out there. We've partnered with Rena, and we look forward to following along and doing a demo for you guys. We're looking to put together all the co-hosts of our meetup groups and put a live and demo it for them and what all the ups and downs and all the benefits with all the accountability tools and all of the other tools that are involved to build out, all of the accountability groups and everything that's involved with having having probably the most favorite meetup group in Florida to build it out in the most favorite partnership group. I don't know if most favorite, that doesn't sound right, but
It's
but
the correct English is most favoritist
yeah, most favorite Nestly is
with the
is what we're
ly at the
doing.
end.
The
Yes.
LY always is done for emphasis. Yes.
You name a company after that. Favoritistly.
Favorite, we do that for
You know,
emphasis.
like the tech names that put
Right?
like an ly at the end of everything.
No, you're ready. Favoritistly.ai.
Yes, yes,
Boom.
that would be the best.
Done. Sold.
But
Set.
one of the things we
Everybody out
started,
there's like, we don't take these guys seriously anymore.
yeah, well, yeah, first time for everything. But we we have been rolling out these live calls Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 p.m. to build out towards our summit, which is September 26th, where we are going to have the live in-person event. Everyone is welcome. Get your tickets, and we look forward to rolling out the app and the partnership with Rena, Like-Minded Pro X, where it will be the most favoriteless community in Florida. So today, on every one of our calls, we do a different strategy. And today we're talking about medical offices and surgery centers. Particular, I know some about this because we're involved in development of medical office and surgery centers, and we're very bullish on it. We are rolling these out into other areas. We're heavily in Kansas City and Texas and the Midwest. We see because there is such a huge demand of outpatient services, we see like a large trend away from the large hospital network because there's a lot of surgeries that used to be 20 years ago were, inpatient services where you had to stay probably a week in the hospital. Now they're only a few hours, and it's an outpatient service where you might only be there, 12 hours, 4 hours, or you're home by the end of the day. So, especially in a lot of these places where you could call them, say, healthcare desert, where in the secondary markets where you don't have a giant hospital close by, there's a huge demand for these because, we have you may not have those services available, and you may have to travel a couple of hours to a hospital to get these procedures done. And it might be an outpatient service, and you might get put on a long waiting list. And it's better for the patients, and it's also better for the surgeons because they might be part of a huge hospital network, and they have to, drive across town to do multiple surgeries in a day, which can that be, you know, not necessarily so great for the patient and for the surgeon because it's a long day for them. They have to drive across town and do surgery. And we're finding that these things are being more prevalent with an aging population, especially like Florida. It can be a very, very opportunistic move because we're having the baby boomers that are retiring, and we see that there are just more and more of them requiring everyone's living longer, and people are doing like even knee replacements, hip replacements, and they're not necessarily they're getting faster and faster and more efficient at these, and these can go up rather quick compared to a hospital. And hospital could be, a large 10-year product project where these can be put up within a couple of years. There's just a lot of things that the surgeons need to really know before they actually get involved with these actual surgical centers or medical offices, just because it's very beneficial to own the real estate doesn't mean that the demand of the area is suited for that. So when I was going to have Brian with Spartan Legacy, he was going to be here. He has a software we can do a quick feasibility study where he's done one for us, and I hope to share that with you guys more soon once I've gone through it and everything else. But he can do it in 10 minutes, and he's built out an algorithm and software for this. So it's really been very beneficial because he actually did one of the projects that we're working on in Texas to see the viability of the plot. If it's, if if there's enough demand, because his software goes through and shows you how many surgeries you need to do and
Mhm.
also how many are necessary for that area, what experts you need. It goes through a lot of different data that you actually need to do and the questions you need to ask before you actually get involved with building your own facility because um, we've heard a lot of different stories from a lot of different surgical groups where they've built them, and a lot of them get overbuilt and they're not necessarily what you call value engineered because at the end of the day, it's a business and it's also the real estate. So there's two separate things. So that when you combine the two, if you overbuild on the real estate, it can be detrimental for the business. But if you underbuild, it can be detrimental for the business as well because they might not have enough operating rooms, they might not be able to do enough procedures, they might not have um, enough office space for the surgeons and or the doctors. But we're seeing a a big push for these surgical centers because one, they're much more efficient, and you're also seeing the fact that a lot of these hospitals are actually partnering with surgical centers for the outpatient services as well. So the demand is increasing, and in places like Florida and Texas, you know, the hospitals take a long time to build. So we're looking at just the demand from the population side and just from the fact of there's so much growth in Texas and Florida that we're seeing a lot of opportunity. But there's a lot of things that go into it. You really have to have the demand from the amount of people there, and like any other real estate, you have to have the people, or
Yeah.
you don't have the demand. And especially with an aging population in Florida, it works. There's a huge amount of demand. And in Texas, with just the hyper growth, you're seeing Houston already has a giant medical medical center community, and Dallas is coming along pretty heavily too. I think Houston has one of the largest cancer treatment facilities in the nation. So there's a lot of ancillary areas outside of Houston that may not, they have to travel in quite a bit to get to that large hospital network. So these surgery centers and medical offices do quite well. The reason why we also like them is because the tenants are what you call sticky tenants. The leases are 10, 15 years, and they're all, for the most part, they're triple net leases, which is, they're responsible for the taxes, insurance, and maintenance. And if it's an absolute lease and they're responsible for everything, then there's usually an escalator clause. So a lot of institutional capital, a lot of a lot of ultra high net worth people and doctors in general like to invest in their own medical facilities because it gets, you know, it's a very stable investment, especially with a
I'm going
15-year
to add
lease.
something to what you're saying. Something
Sure.
that I heard today, which kind of adds to that, I think, as far as population that have moved from New York. They, I don't know the exact number, but I know the main number was 50,000 that have moved here since to Florida since 24, and the other 30 went to Texas. So that is those numbers with what you're saying
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
viable for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely is. I mean, we have had since the 90s to Florida, we've had an average of about 100,000 people coming in. Some people are leaving as well, but we've had a net positive migration. But I would definitely think that your numbers are pretty close to everything that's going on because there's just a lot more benefits for people moving from New York to Florida. But I would say that a lot of times they're half timers because they live here 181 days for tax reason or 200 days. And then in the summertime, a lot of times they go up to New York because it's not so hot. Yeah. Are you originally from New York?
Oh, heck no.
No.
I'm a
No.
native Floridian.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There's one.
Yes.
There's one. I thought it was only my kids.
No, no.
And Eric. And Eric. Yeah. But
Uh,
yeah. You gonna add
uh,
something?
yeah, yeah. Well, I have a question. I don't know if we're into the questions yet, but I have a
Yeah,
question.
yeah. We can get into the questions now. That's fine.
So for like the build out, right? Of course, um, you know, any new construction obviously takes time, but with something that's smaller, it's not like a hospital size, it's a little smaller. Like
Yeah.
how long do these usually take, these build outs?
Well, ours depending on the square footage and everything, ours in Kansas City were, 8 months to a year. One of them was a conversion project, and it was about 8 months because I believe it's an Office Max. Because a lot of
Uh,
it is it was converted from a building already. A lot of
okay.
it was permitting and everything. And these were about 15,000 square feet each, so they're relatively small, so they can go up pretty quick. And the unique thing about it is once a certificate of occupancy is engaged, the leases are executed and they start cash flowing. And usually there's anywhere from single tenant to a few different tenants. So it's with those long-term leases in there. So it's something that we really like because, like I said, the tenant base is generally they're investing in their own building, and we structure it, we're flexible on structure so that we can either invest alongside of them and bring in a capital supplement from our investors, which can be whatever they're comfortable with, or they can bring their own capital and bring it in and where they own it completely outright without us, and we're just the fee developer where we help them develop it and build it out, and they get a tenant allowance where they put in what they need. But we help them with, the value engineering of the entire project so that, because at the end of the day, if we're involved, we have our capital in there. We want to make sure it's value engineered, that it's going to make money. But if we're just the fee developer and we don't bring our investors in, we'll help them build and give them some guidance and stuff on that side. So they can go up relatively quick, relatively compared to other assets.
So I think that's interesting how you guys selected the like the old Office Max or whatever it was Office, yeah. Because like I mean, think about it. I mean, there's the Best Buys, right? There's all the
Kmart's, yeah,
Marts, right? I
yeah.
mean, that could be, but I feel like over time when you guys get the rep down, I feel like that could be converted way faster, right?
Yeah, because the building's already there, the power's there,
Yeah.
the water, everything like that.
Uh,
That's why it came together so much quicker. I mean, but I think there's a lot more room for stuff like that because there is a lot of retail and stuff that really needs to be repurposed. This is one instance I've seen also where a lot of these retail get converted to storage. They get converted to uh, some mixed use projects, where multifamily is a little bit can be a little bit tougher because you don't necessarily have all the water, plumbing, and everything else. It might not pencil out. People are saying a lot with a lot of these office buildings. I think office buildings could potentially be a little easier for these surgery centers, but it really depends on the layout and how big they are and the demand. But yeah, I'm pretty bullish on a lot of these repurposing projects. I think if the cities here are very friendly, um,
mhm.
there's just a huge amount of potential there, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
Now, are
Yeah.
you looking for investors, and this is what you're speaking, where you're looking for an investor type of person? Let's say
Um,
I'm an investor type of person.
uh, we are, but I just kind of wanted to educate more on these. But for the most part, what we're looking for is the surgical partners that want to build these, because generally the capital part is not unlike a lot of other real estate where you have to raise capital. You do have to still do that if you are bringing in part of the capital. But a lot of times doctors are already and surgeons are already accredited. So for the most part, a lot of them invest together as a group. So they may not want outside outside people. So we just help them develop. So for the most part, what we look for is the surgeons or doctors that want to build and take advantage of the real estate side, along with the
In each one of those areas.
yeah,
Florida and
in
Midland.
yeah, we're fairly agnostic about the areas, but we're focusing now on the Midwest, Texas, Florida, because those are close to, because our development group is in St. Louis, so
Mhm.
it's easy to get to and easy to keep managing and building out in those areas because we have people in those areas because it's important, like any real estate, to have boots on the ground.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes a lot of sense. No, I love this. I love
yeah.
the asset. I remember obviously when you brought it
Yeah.
up
Oh,
months.
we will be doing something, Eric. I know it. I mean, it's there's just a lot of ways that these opportunities are going to come to fruition. Because Florida in general has a big medical community, and I think there's just so many benefits for the patients for one, which hopefully building more of these clinics, these surgical centers and medical offices, it'll bring some of the costs down. Um, because, nothing against hospitals, but they're very large, and some of them can be quite bureaucratic with a lot of their billing and stuff like that. And I don't know how it all works with the insurance companies and stuff, but if we could make it easier and make it a little more efficient, hopefully that gets passed through to the patients because having my own medical history and kids and everything else, it is not a easy process.
Yeah.
So any other questions about the medical offices and surgery centers?
What
Uh,
about, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What
No, go
about
ahead.
offshoot products? For example, one of my things has been I want to do a small, like a nursing home or retirement center where it's more conducive to be more like family and
Yeah.
so that those patients can do better. What I did do is I did go to the Florida Association for Assisted Living, and I
Okay.
found that between the lawsuits, that crazy lawsuits that were in Florida, that I said, whoa, if I do anything, it won't be in Florida.
Well, well, we did have our good friend Julian on
Really?
a little bit ago, and that's mostly what he does. That's the real estate he's involved with.
Yeah.
I can connect you with him if you want to talk to him because I think, they're always looking at two or three, and they're looking at one in, I think it was Davenport. What was it, Eric? I think it was Davenport.
Davenport. Mhm.
And it looked like it was going to go pretty well. So I'm sure he'd be glad to speak to you more about it because I think they own several. And then there's also Roberto Carabetta. He owns quite a few of them.
Okay.
Um, I think everywhere you go in the States with assisted living, you're going to have some lawsuit issues and stuff. And I think that's just most real estate in general, you're going to have, but just
I
keep in
agree
mind,
from the attorneys, but in what they were saying,
okay,
compared to other states, it's like, holy crap.
well, we do have that, but also compared to other states, we do have also more assisted living than a lot of places too.
That's a point. That's a good point.
Yeah, and it's only going to get more. It's going to continue to go in that direction, and I think you have because you have that much more and such an aging population, and we're a retirement place. You have the villages, which is what is it, 100,000 homes? I don't know how many homes are up there now, but that is a giant facility for that, and I think I wouldn't discount it because I think you probably have, even if you don't invest here, probably a large opportunity to learn because you probably have more opportunity to go and visit some of these facilities and find out more about them. But I'll gladly put you in touch with Julian.
No,
Uh,
you can tell them also I'm a certified senior advisor, so and I did long-term care and I did a lot of that kind of work. But anyway, yeah,
yeah,
I'm interested very much so.
well, they're vertically integrated. They do all their management and everything in-house. Um, Hey, Han. I see Han is here. I think she's here.
Is that Stella Hahn?
No, it's Han Win.
Hi, Han.
There. Hey, Han.
Hi, Scott. Hi, Eric.
Good to
Hello.
see you.
Everyone.
Yeah, I
In a
would.
meeting, but hi, Han.
Hey, Diana, I will definitely connect you with Julian because I think, um, there's always room to learn, and they're doing it. So, I think if you really want to, you can.
Okay, that's great.
There's just a lot. Like I said, it's only going to be more in Florida, but are you looking to buy them or build them or what were you looking to
Well,
do?
hopefully, if I find a good deal that needs restoration, I've done restorations before and rehab,
Okay.
so I'm familiar with that. And so I don't know, I'm up for anything kind of at this point, because I have been out of really getting going again, and I just trying to get my feet wet. That's why I'm really happy to be with you guys, because I feel like I'm gonna, just from the camaraderie and getting
Oh,
together and finding out more about people, I like this group.
well, thank you. We like having you, and we're always here to help. So, we want you to find good partners in here and excel, because that's we know that partnerships and everything have been infinitely great for us. So, let us know what you need, and we'll put you in touch with whoever we think could help. Um, so Miss Han, what have you been doing recently?
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no pressure.
Lately, so I just been very busy to wrap up all of the closing for my borrower clients. Working on a few right now. One commercial deal. It is not for me, but it's my clients in North Carolina to buy a triple net retail mall.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been going on. A lot of negotiation and due diligence upfronts before putting the offer. And what else? My portfolio in South Florida is residential mainly. So I'm now trying to stabilize my portfolio because I have a few tenants move out at the same time. So that's why it took a little bit more time to find the right tenants and figure it out. Is everything in progress? The market, as you know, lately, the past few weeks, mortgage rate have like on the increasing trends, not significant, but increasing gradually and then plateaus. I mean, so yesterday it softened a little bit. So that's a good thing. But just a note for all of the investor out there, if you plan to acquire, to buy anything at this time, please factors with the current rates. It's gonna be like this for some time. As long as you can factors that into your pricing and negotiate with the seller. So that is my 2 cents. If the number currently works, hopefully 18 months to a year from now, it's getting better. And so the overall picture would be better.
Hmm.
Mm. Are you
That's
seeing more? Are you seeing more seller carry or seller finance being a part of these deals to make them work with the current rate environment?
Definitely, people have to, everyone like willing to be more creative in this market to make it work. Like I have a few friends as a listing agents, and after talk to them, I'm trying to connect the dots, whatever investor buyer with them, and always come up, hey, if the retail doesn't work, it's sitting for 3 months right now. Can you talk to the seller to see that they're open for it? For creative finance with a subject to or wrap around. Um, just figured out how to move their stuff.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I always thought that was interesting how yeah, of course interest rates always go up, go down, but I feel like if the deal is there, the deal is there, and you can always refinance out of it later. That's kind of what would always think, when it comes to like an investment property. I don't know. I might just be weird, but I think that's a good point, you know.
Yeah, it really just depends on the deal, I guess. If you can get get it to cash flow now, I think, like you said, Eric, I think you definitely have some wiggle room. If you give you a few years, maybe you have some options, provided they don't hit you with any early payoff fees or anything like that, or there's any kind of defeasance or anything like that. But yeah, if you can make it work in today's environment, go for it. And somebody said to me a long time ago, if it cash flows, buy it. I mean, it's pretty simple. He was an older guy, and that's what he said. And he'd done quite well for himself, and he said he made more money in the 80s and 90s when interest rates were high than he does now. So, but he's kind of backed off what he's done. He's sold off most of his portfolio. So that's, he said even when they were 8, 9, 10, 12%, he was doing quite well. But he said the difference between then and now is that the prices reflected those interest rates. So now you have higher, well, it's historically average interest rates, but the prices are still up too high, and especially some real estate assets. Are you seeing any particular asset classes coming down, Han? Are you seeing particular medical office or anything like that? Are you seeing those kind of stay where they are?
Just limited to, I mean, limited exposure I have. I cannot speak for a generic one, but the deal estate in South Florida, the pricing is still very, I mean, resisting in my opinions, because I mean, overall, South Florida and then Dallas, Fort Worth, I see a lot of going on as well. And I have a conversation with a gentleman. He own a consultant business for commercial real estate in retail. He used to invest heavily in multifamily, but he pivoted probably 4 years ago to retail. His is brokerage, but he also do consultant for multifamily investor, because he have some experience, he have some mistake before, so he tried to have the other investor, and his point to me is he bring one point very critical that's kind of like shift my mindset a little bit when I look into different commercial asset class, especially between multifamily and
Mm.
retail triple net, is we don't have control with property tax insurance in our operating expense, in our expenses, right? It's
Yeah.
subject to the market, it's subject what's going on, the weather risks. So because of that, so the triple net would be more favorable in the sense that if we pass that to our business tenants, right? As long as we see that there is a room to improve, I mean the gross income, whether you value add, so the cost to some extent that you can control, that would help you to increase the NOI and valuation. So that to me is a very interesting point for that. But if you go into triple nets, likely that you lock into 5, 10 years. So you have to agree and very like aggressively negotiate with the tenants, whether take over the tenants, the likelihood is lower. But if you have the tenants like a new tenant expire, tenants, so you have an opportunity to negotiate better in terms of how much you're going to increase every year for those type of asset class. Yeah, so that's really something like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
and and
Yeah.
also industrial.
Yeah, definitely. Like we were speaking about triple net leases the other day, especially with medical and any other asset class, you have to really know your lease and know what the landlord is responsible for and what the tenant is responsible for. Because especially in medical, it can get pretty complicated in a hurry if and any other real estate class, if you think that, oh, that's the landlord, when actually it's you that's responsible. You really have to know your lease, and you always make sure and check with an attorney and make sure, go have them go through it and make sure that you know what you're getting into, because it could be a large cost item that you don't realize that you're responsible for, especially with a triple net lease. But that's a great input, Han. Yeah.
Mhm. And is there any like I also talked to one attorney in Dallas. He focus is in data center. Like 90% his
Okay.
business is in data center. A real estate
Okay.
deal, but facilitate for data center. And he brought up a lot of like thought about it. Is that this is the something trendy, right? With the AI, we need the
Yeah.
power to process all of that. It's a huge opportunity, but also a lot of regulation, like regulatory risk involved into it as well. It's not, oh, you buy the land and you put the whatever solar or grid onto
Yeah.
it and it is run. It's a different animal, and it's really opened my mind um, regarding that business.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it because you really have to what I found with the data centers, because I was looking at potentially helping them find some funding, they have to be near a water source for cooling, and they also have to be near a good power source because without it, um, those are two things that they need to have a lot of. And they a lot of people nowadays that the thing is that a lot of people are pushing back and saying that not in my backyard and stuff like that. A lot of those things are happening. Um, did he mention anything to that effect about that, Han?
I heard about that. I heard that like they're saying it uses a lot of water and stuff. I
Mhm.
don't know. Nah, I'm not
Well,
believing
they probably do, but they, a lot of places they use a lot of water. Generally, they reuse the water.
That's
They
yeah,
recycle the water because I know the oil companies got a lot of pushback many years ago and from the environmentalist movement and stuff, and they
well
said,
for fracking, right?
yeah, for fracking and then for even other forms of
Yeah,
oil, they pump a lot of mud and water down into the hole and stuff like that, but they found that there was a lot of savings in them conserving the water and reusing the water. So it saved them billions of dollars. So instead of them fighting each other, they could have just said, "Hey, why don't you just, there's obviously, with oil, that's a whole nother topic for another day. But there's always some kind of common ground that's going to be beneficial because we all need power. We all need water. We can't live without any of it. So there's always a way that we can make it, we can figure out to where it's beneficial for everyone rather than making it a yes or no dynamic.
sure.
And data centers are no different, but I'm hearing quite a bit of that pushback for data centers. And, sometimes you hear that too also with the medical offices. They may not necessarily want a medical facility. They don't want the traffic. They don't want, large building near them. Sometimes that's what, that's the way it goes. But, there's always going to be someone that is not for whatever you're doing, it's just a part of life, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Um,
coming prepared and hello city. These are the plans.
yeah. Yeah, you
It
just
really
just
is.
always be ready to solve problems pretty much because problems do come up. Nothing ever goes to plan. You can plan on you having to make changes. And that's not just real estate, that's life, that's business. That's why we're looking for the right partners.
And that's what makes the best entrepreneur at the end of the day. Not the ability to plan, but the ability to
Solve.
make make
Yeah,
make the right decisions and
because it's always problem.
Yeah.
Always,
And, and,
always.
a-
and how
and
do
a
you
Every
lot,
pivot?
aspect.
How do you adjust? How do you move forward from there?
and
Mhm.
it's not necessarily how do you do it, but it's who do you need. That's why who's the
Yeah,
partner you need?
yeah,
Who do you need to find to help solve that? Because
yeah.
it might be something that I talked to Eric and he goes, "Oh, call this guy. He knows all about that." And you
Mhm.
might have been struggling with it for months and losing your shirt. And
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know,
hundred
so
percent. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a book. It say what's the name of the book? It's not about how, it's about who.
Yeah, who, not how. That's Dr. Benjamin Hardy. That's
Yes.
basically a big part of our community here, pretty much. We want everyone to find their who.
Yeah. So
Yep.
like
They should go to Whoville.
Who will. Yeah,
Really
well,
hope everybody got that reference.
well, I don't think anybody, this is a multi-generational story. So
Yeah.
Whoville, Whoville is
Diana
always
immediately
popular.
smiled, so.
Yeah. Whoville will always be popular. When ceases to be popular, we're in a
I don't
bad way.
want to live in that world.
No, we're in a bad way.
Anyway.
Well, does anyone have any other questions about medical
I
office?
haven't I haven't I think met Juan and Dinah. So is it the first time? I think it's the first time I met. Of course, three of
They're
you I
going to
know
be there
more.
on Thursday. Well, maybe Diana. Maybe Diana. I'm not going to speak for her, but maybe. So Juan
I'm
will be
trying.
there.
I'm trying.
And Diana, I put my cell phone and contact information in the chat. I did direct message you. So
Oh,
if you
okay.
want to reach out about and connect you with Julian if you want.
Okay.
So you can discuss that ALF. Yeah, so
Yeah, Juan, if you want to say a couple words about yourself just with Han and everything like
Yeah.
that.
Hey, Han, how are you? Good afternoon. I'm Juan. I'm new to the group. Um, but I will be there on Thursday. Hopefully, you can meet in person. I'm not sure if you're local to. Oh, yeah, you're in South
yeah,
Florida, so
we're loaded.
okay, perfect. So yeah, I'm a relationship manager for Conventus Lending. We do focus on investor properties, ground up construction, fix and flip, DSCR loans, multifamily. We're a private lender. Some people like to call us hard money lenders, right? But we're trying to shy away from that uh, perspective that hard money lending doesn't come with good service. So we do our own servicing in-house. Actually, I'm based out of West Palm Beach, Florida, where our servicing team is. Our goal as a company is to not only be the most aggressive when it comes to rates, fast closings, but also you know be able to retain as many clients as possible through great service. And we can only do that when we can control how our clients are handed over. So a lot of folks in this industry get you know shipped away to third party servicers where that's where the deal goes south for a lot of people because the servicer is a lot more uh, focused on you know servicing the investor, right, the loan owner, and they forget that the borrower is also a client. So here we try to manage that relationship where yes, we understand that our investors are a big part of how we operate and how we can originate loans, but the borrower is at the center of everything. So we do a very good job of white glove service here. I was part of the servicing team. I'm new to the sales team, but I was in the servicing team for almost 2 years. My experience in loan servicing, been doing this for about 6 years. Different banks, commercial banks in California, as well here in Florida. But yeah, I'm excited to share and help you guys as much as I possibly can. Any questions? You know, I'm also new to the industry, so I love that I can learn a little bit about every single category that the real estate has offered. I mean, this is it's a industry that's never going to go away. Um, so yeah, happy to be here.
Nice. Thank you,
Excellent.
Juan. Thank you.
Of
Yeah,
course.
so much. Excellent, excellent.
And I believe Diana Han was asking about you and who you are. So this would also be a good time before we have like 5 minutes left. So if you just want to quickly just say hello and what you do, etc.
Well, hello, John. I have done pre-construction purchases and held them. I have done rehabs and restoration. I did a lot of that in the 80s. I had some hiccups along the way as life goes. And then again, more recent, some pre-construction purchases. I'm holding on. And we also have an all-state office, which I have to go step in and help quite a bit, especially lately. We've lost some people just due to life. Somebody's mother's passed away. Anyway, the point is, I'm open and I to different things. That's why I plugged into this group to see who's who and what they do and the personality that goes along with it. So that's I'm open for some different things, but I have an interest after I saw some of the horrible ALFs and homes that were out there between here and Orlando, and my heart sank um, when I found out where my mother was. So that's kind of a personal thing that I would like to put in my portfolio, is to help somebody that direction. But it also has to align with, you know, some different criteria that I have. So anyway, that's the bottom line
All right.
Excellent.
in a nutshell.
Fantastic. Great. Well, yeah, I guess we'll do the closing statements, and just let everyone know what we're doing. I know that, Antoine, right? He said, "Hi again, first time here. I'm based in Orlando, Florida, and currently work as a systems engineer looking to get into multifamily. I'm in learning
Excellent.
phase, trying to understand the do's and don'ts. Would love to connect with anyone here." And he did give the number. I'm not gonna say it, but he did give it down there in the comments. So we'll definitely contact you and welcome, and it's wonderful. It's scary learning about this, right? Like we all know that, and obviously the first thing to do is know what your strategy or know what you want to do in real estate, because there is, what is there, 133 strategies of 32
Yes.
strategies out there in a real estate
Hey, there could
investment.
be more.
And Rena, um that we partnered with, has all that written down in that book behind them, and also also in our Like-Minded Pro X group, we do go through that quiz and that assessment to understand kind of who what you fit in, and what you should focus on, and then just go for it, right? Because then you can really talk to the right people when you come to any meetup, and of course, ours, which we actually had two this week. We have one in Fort Lauderdale, that is on Thursday, the 27th already. Woo! And then in St. Pete, Florida, not St. Pete, Russia, St. Pete, Florida, we we have our meetup there as well. Owana, Jim, and Bar unfortunately couldn't be here today, but they will be there on Friday. Friday. I mean, sorry, Thursday. It's a really fun one, and been doing that for, I think, about almost almost 3 years, leading on the 4 years now, and it's a big one. It's a big one. We love that one. So check it out. And if you go to likemindedpro.com/go, you can see everything that's happening all in one page. So thank you again. We love everyone. I kind of have a segment a little bit at the end about partnerships and history. And I was actually
Do
watching.
it.
Yes, okay. So I was actually watching a very interesting history channel about partnerships in the past, and who they were and what kind of brand it is today, right? And um it's not it focuses mainly on the partnership aspect of it. And when you find something that you love, there was a guy named his name was Jack, and then he basically formed a partnership and a mentor under his name was Ernest, is it Ernest? Ernest? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they basically about like 1904, they formed a partnership, and they went through all of the craziness of the, and here's where the brand is kind of gonna pop into everyone's mind, um, into the Prohibition era, where they kind of had to jump through a bunch of hoops and then jump through, their production. But basically, they went through about 7 years of not producing any product, right? But because of their partnerships and them actually understanding and like knowing what to do and kind of creating something, Jack Daniels was born. And that's kind of how it happened, right? So yeah, it's kind of crazy. That it was actually one of the first it was one of the first like whiskeys in Tennessee to really be like premium, which of course it's not today. But it was
Shots fired.
yeah,
Shots
well,
fired.
I mean, it's not shots
Oh, I
fired.
agree, but
I mean, it's I mean, everyone common
it's
knowledge.
rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, so but anyway, so Jack Daniels really wanted to obviously make like a the best whiskey, and he did, but then his partner took over, which was his cousin, and kind of just put a little bit more water in that, so then he mass produce it. But anyways, so that's what I learned this weekend. So, you know.
Very nice.
Interesting.
Well,
All
thank you for
right.
the history lesson once again.
Yeah.
Anything, you got anything, Mark?
No, I'm super sorry I wasn't present for half the call. I did get a very, very urgent bank call there, so I do apologize regarding property
No,
and everything like that. So I did have
that's
to take
okay.
care of that. So
That's
apologies for
okay.
that.
That's how it goes sometimes, but once again,
Yeah,
in closing, check out everything we're doing at likemindedpro.com/go for Like-Minded Pro X rollout and your financial fingerprint. We look forward to sharing more of this with you guys, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
the Rena
Wednesday.
app is coming
Right.
soon, and then at the end at the summit, the
Like-Minded
Like-Minded
Pro
Pro
app.
app.
Yeah, so we have multiple apps.
Yes, but the forum's live online if you guys want to check that out.
Friday. Oh, it is. Fantastic. All
Yeah,
righty.
yeah. I
Well,
mean, it's live, but it's mainly gonna be on the app and desktop. We're not even allowing people to view it on mobile. And so, yeah, if you're on mobile, just don't. See you, Diana.